Okay, so welcome to tonight's team call. We are talking about how to fit Beachbody and family into your life without feeling like you're sacrificing one or the other. So I know we'll be getting to that, but first I want to do some housekeeping items. So today's the 2nd. Today's Thursday, yeah. So March 2nd. So we are no longer getting 3 Success Club points for the All Access Challenge Pack. We are now getting 2 Success Club points. So that's a bummer, but we are now getting 2 Success Club points for Shakeology on Home Direct, which is awesome. So, because you were getting 1 point, most of the time you're going to upsell it, and, pair it with something for a challenge pack if they don't have anything already. But sometimes it's just really hard to convince somebody that has the all access pass into, purchasing another program the next time around. So it's nice to be able to say, okay, Shakeology HD. Now, if that person's already drinking it and on a Home Direct, you're not going to get those 2 points. Okay, let's see what else. So points are different. The all access pass is still available though. It's not going away anywhere. And if you, what was I going to say? Dang it. Totally lost my train of thought. All access pass is same price. Oh, if you want the Kickstart for the all access pass, it's $239, I believe. I have to double check, but it is available. It's just not available with like the Zoom link or the links or anything. So they actually have to call into customer service, but it is available and hopefully coming soon. Okay, what else did I want to talk about? Yes, mommy brain in full force. I feel like I'm like everywhere right now. Okay, so March 6th, so this coming Monday, I am going to run a freezer meal prep group, and I've invited a lot of people to invite their friends too. I would just make an image. I saw Michael made an image. I was actually going to steal that from you and just post that tonight. But she just made a post and said freezer meal prep group. So what that means is we are going to teach people I did this with my mom right before baby came, and it was awesome. So I'm going to teach them to go to Pinterest and pick out meals that work for them. So I'm not going to be like, here's our meal plan, you have to make this. Because I know everybody's picky, everybody's family is different, but we do have a meal plan to give them. I actually already have a group because I ran it in the past. So I will share that group and you can just add your people there. I just want to do it this round to kind of show you how it's done. But in the future, I'm going to be doing my groups with just my new coaches, my free groups, because when you get like 600 people in there, people are like, what? It's a little crazy. So I really just want to open it up to everyone so you can see how I run it. If you want to do it with me, you can. But from experience, I think free groups do better when they're more intimate and smaller. So this is really just kind of like a case study, so I can invite anybody that wants to see how a free group is run. And I'm moving all my free groups to the first Monday of the month. So every first Monday of the month is going to be our free groups from here on out, whatever it is that month. And then the first Monday of the month is also new coach training. I just finished, Mullen and I went and put together a new coach training, and mine is actually through a website. So you'll go to the website itself. It's not self-paced. It starts on the 6th. It's 30 days. So anybody that has new coaches, or even if you're a new coach, or if you're just like, hey, I want to kickstart, I got this training from Melanie Mitro. So it's really good stuff. And I can't say obviously, Mullen has full bragging rights for that. Mullen loves Mitro, and somehow she like finagled her way in there, and we have access to her new coach training. So really, really cool. I am so excited for it. I am probably not going to get to do some of her videos. I wanted to take and make my own, just because I want to get it started on the 6th. This round will probably have a lot of her videos in it. I just want to get the content out there, and then I'll spend the next 30 days making my own videos. I just have to be realistic, and I know I'm not going to get that done. So I'd rather you just get the content, because always, always, always done is better than perfect. So would it be awesome if it was coming from me? Yes, but that's not going to happen by Monday. So I will, hopefully tonight, that's my plan, is to get everything squared away so I can share, because I have a prep week that, and it's not a full week. You can basically, a couple tasks that you can do this week. So for any new coaches in my downline, this is available. So this is like, and it's not like, hi, I'm April, your coach. It's made as if it's ready for anybody in your downline. So this is going to be a really simplified process, because they go and they see day one. Okay, and then it just asks, how many invites did you do? Personal development, how many minutes did you read? So it focuses on the vital behaviors and gives them a short little task. And sometimes it's a video, sometimes it's just content, sometimes it's sharing scripts. So really, really cool. I'm excited for this. And then you can also be plugging in your coaches for it. So I think that will take the stress off you. I am going to do that tonight, Michael. Once baby's to bed, that's my sole focus tonight, is getting all that shared. So I'm really, really excited for this. I was trying a self-paced thing. It just wasn't working. The 7-day group thing wasn't working. So I just needed to, start fresh and, really just put a lot of stress on this as, your new coach. And say somebody signs up and they have to wait 3 weeks for that training. This is going to get them amped up to want to go through it, because they're like, oh gosh, I wanted to start. And it doesn't start for 3 weeks. So you may have to help them more in those 3 weeks a little bit, but it's almost like they're anticipating it. They're really excited for it. So I think, it'll be better in the long run. So yeah, first Monday of the month is new coach training, free group. And then the second Thursday of the month is always going to be a live What is a Challenge group at 8:30 p.m. And then that gives the new coaches 2 weeks to get in, challengers into our challenge group that's going to start on the third Monday of every month. So this time is March 20th. That's when my challenge group is going to start. So Melanie Mitro follows this plan, and she's very strategic in that, is that she has a free group the first week so that she can get people interested. She can start conversations. She can start inviting. And then, she's really posting about challenge groups the first 2 weeks of the month. And then, the third is the month that her challenge group starts. So great. She's focused on that. That's all good to go. And then she's really focusing on, talking about coaches and, doing things like that. And so, then she has like a live What is Coaching thing always at like the third or, the fourth week of the month, because she is trying to get all those coaches in before the end of the month, so they can start her new training the first Monday of the month. I'm like, brilliant. I love it. So it really just kind of funneling everything in together makes so much more sense. So I think that we should all adopt that plan. We're all going to have different challenge groups. It's just not feasible to have everybody plus all your clients in one challenge group. It's like overwhelming. And every time I've had an awesome challenge group, it has been a more tighter knit. So don't be sad if you're like, I only have 4 people in my challenge group. That's awesome. That's, one-on-one, and you can talk that up, that I do small groups only. Even if you're a new coach, you can just be like, I only have 5, people max. I want to give you the most time that I can, you can use that to your advantage, either way. So, tight nips. I don't remember what that was from.
That was a live event that I accidentally said.
Oh yeah, I do. I remembered it. I just didn't remember.
I said, we're a really tight knit group. I mean, knit.
Oh my gosh. Live events are the best. Okay. This is another really good topic. I haven't even started our topic yet. Sorry. But for new coaches, I, make them do a live What is Coaching event with me. So I'm like, make them go live, get out of their comfort zone, and then they feel a little better about it after. So I love this practice. It's called I Do, We Do, You Do. So the first one, hey guys, invite people. I'm doing a live event. You can see how I do it. And then the we do is, hey, I want you to host this event with me. And then the I do, we do, you do. Yeah, so then you do, because then you're sending that new coach is going to do it on their own. So, and that's a really great duplicatable process. So I really like, doing that to make people feel confident. And then, Rachel and Heather now are, doing it on their terms. So, yeah, Rachel had hives. Like, and that's the best thing about when you go live is like, don't be afraid to just like tell people you're nervous, because that makes you feel that you seem real. And that makes them think like, okay, I can be a coach. Cause they don't want to be going live and, talking to people either. And if they see you doing that, they're thinking, I have to do this. So I think it's just really great when you can just be you and real. Rachel was like, oh my gosh, I have hives. And, Kayla was like, I had too much wine before this. Like, so I think honestly, and people just loved it. They thought it was so funny. So, I think it's just be yourself. Don't stress out about it. But the sooner that you do it, the better, because I actually get a lot of people that talk to me and message me about things that I went live to that I didn't even invite them to the event. So that's the benefit of you doing it personally. Your friends get that notification that, hey, April was live now. And even if they're like slightly interested or just bored, they can click on it and watch it and see if it's anything for them. So that's another benefit of going live. Okay, so I think that's all the housekeeping stuff I wanted to talk about. So, and I really wanted to feel free to ask questions on this. Feel free to chime in if something has worked for you. I know, I think Heather and Rachel were going to give some of their tips too, because this is just such a common thing that happens, is that, coaches sign up and they're super excited and they're super gung-ho and they love the business. They don't feel like it's working, they don't feel like it's work. It's something fun for them. So, what I tell people is, I don't want you to just push, because you're going to get burnout. So how many of you, and it's okay, not everybody's like this, but how many of you went like, I'm going to take this, I'm going to do this. And, and you found, this was just kind of like your happy place, and you spent hours and hours and hours. And, one of your loved ones kind of said something about you being on the phone too much. Yeah. So this is a common reoccurring theme. And it's like, you feel bad because you're like, oh, but this is so fun. And this is like something I do for me. And then, you don't want your, family to say, or significant other to look at you and like despise Beachbody because it takes you away from them. You don't want them to be resentful to the business that you love, because to them, it represents you, being like this on your phone. So, I really, really struggled with this. And so Matt and I were not married yet when I first started coaching. So no kids, not married, but we both had crazy schedules. So I worked 3 jobs, and he was a restaurant manager. So he was sometimes not home till like 2 a.m. So we had crazy, crazy schedules. So when we did have time to spend with each other, and I was like on my phone, that was really irritating for him, which I can understand, but I would just be like, okay, I'll get better. And then a week would go by and I'd be like somewhat better. And then I'd go right back to my old ways. And like, honest to God, like, I don't know if it's just because Matt is just so laid back, but like, we really rarely fight. The fights that I think about are involved when a Beachbody. Like most of our fights that I can think of in our marriage have involved Beachbody. So that was for me when I was like, okay, this is a reoccurring thing, because you guys know I'm a workaholic. I love what I do. And, it's fun to just be able to, have this blessing to work something from, your computer. But it was definitely abusing the, you can work when you want. And so I, remember that I went to Chalene Johnson's Smart Success Seminar this past year. So about a year ago was the 3rd time that I had gone to it. And the first year I was like, my goal was, how to grow my team. The second year, my goal was, I want to duplicate what I'm doing and create leadership and delegate. And then this past year when I went, my sole purpose was to figure out how to put my marriage first. And I mean, it's kind of sad that I like literally waited that long to really say, I'm going to do something about this. But I have a very patient husband, thank goodness. And, we've put it all behind us, and I have set family time, because I know that what I have with him and, our family is so much more important than a message that could have waited, an hour, 2 hours. So you just have to really think about, is it fair to somebody else? And would I be annoyed if they were sitting there on their phone? So if I remember that I would tell him, I started doing, he loves his video games. I don't know. He's like a 30-year-old little person. No, I don't think they ever outgrow that. But I was like, how about, we set times and you get an hour to play video games and I get an hour to, do my business. And it sounds as silly as it sounded, it worked. So, we'd be like, okay, you do your thing, you do the thing. I got an hour. We're going to start a movie at like 8:30. So our personal time we usually do is usually involves TV. I used to never watch TV, and now it's such like can we watch this together? So that's usually like our quality time together. And for Matt, that's one of his love languages, quality times. So, it's really important for you to recognize that too. I would love for you guys actually to write in the chat if you know what your love language is, and if you know what your partner's love language is. And if you don't, there's a book. It's called 5 Love Language. And also, I want to say sorry for always saying, if I say spouse or husband or whatever, and I'm just always speaking for me. So I was thinking of Greg too when I was making this. I was thinking of Greg and Brittany as I was doing this. I was like, everybody I have. Sorry, where did my mind go? There is a book called The 5 Love Languages, and there's also a quiz online. So you can, if you don't want to read the book, it's a small book, it's a great book, you can take a quiz. So just Google like The 5 Love Languages. All right, so write your love languages in the chat. Mine is words of affirmation. I just love that. So that's why, recognition and stuff like that is so important to me. It was, and I don't think I have a love language. Danielle, go take that test. There's also, so there's acts of service, which is like, somebody cleaned your house, and that's Melissa's love language. And that's why she cleans my house and does my laundry every time she visits. She's a great guest. But it's funny, you kind of think about it and you see like what, your love language is, and that's a lot of times what you give to other people. And so you have to think like, okay, but that might not be their love language. So, I'm really good at telling Matt, like, I'm like telling him mushy stuff, like, because it's important to me. But if that's like not his love language, then that's not going to mean as much, So, words of affirmation, physical touch, acts of service, quality time, gifts. Am I missing anything else? But yeah, physical touch is not just like intimate physical touch, like Heather said.
No, I'm all about like hugs or like tapping when I talk to somebody like without even realizing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I always say that for Matt too, quality time and physical touch. Like literally, this is maybe TMI, but if he like walks by me and doesn't like grab my butt or something, I'm like, what's wrong? Like when he comes in the door, like that's my sign, like something's wrong, because he like always does. So yeah, I would put physical touch up there for his too. This is my wife, Rachel. She's a hugger. I'm loving these comments, physical touch and quality time. Okay, if anybody finds the quiz, go ahead and find it and put it in the chat too, so you guys can do that later tonight too. It's really cool to know, and then I would have your partner do it too. Craig said, I thought, okay, you were saying Mandy, and I thought you went Mandy because we have a new coach named Mandy. Craig's wife is named Mandy, because I was laughing and said Mandy and I are both touchers. I was like, what? Okay. 5 love, the second one. Okay, the second link is in there if you want to take the quiz. All right, so I asked this in a, you may have to move around your little Zoom, people, just to be able to see everything. I asked in a 5-star group, best tips for people for, making their business work. with family, because, I really, really want to focus on the importance of family, significant others first, Beachbody second. So here's their tips. Talk with your family, let them know you are doing this for them. Share your deep why with them. Call it our business. And I always do this. I'm like, oh my gosh, guess how much we made this week, or something like that. It's always we, our, instead of my business. Make them feel included. Set up times with your spouse when you will work your biz, and times when you will be unplugged and spend time with each other's kids. Be open with communication always. Not each other's kids, each other/kids. That is so, so important. So like what I always did before baby was I scheduled all my calls on Thursday night. So Matt knew, like, don't do anything for me Thursday. We have no plans. You do whatever you want, but it doesn't involve me, because, that's my night. So now with the baby, I can't be like, sorry, I'm just going to take the night off. So I will usually that's why I do every other week for our team calls, because then the other week I'm going to do a live event. So, I had to adjust, but that for me is, I know that I'm going to get 2 live events in. I know I'm going to get 2 coach calls in. And then my plan is to also go through and, go live in our team page on my time. But for me, you just have to be flexible. But if you have a type of schedule where you can just pick one night a week, and, maybe you've got the team call at 7, so you're going to, do something at 6, a live event, just your power hour or whatever. So, like, hey, I have this 6 to 8 time block, whatever. But the most important thing is just that you're in contact with them and letting them know what Success Club is, and letting them know, what a success starter is, what summit is, things like that. Just keeping them in the know really helps with them being excited for you. And, if you're not talking to them about what a challenge pack is and yada, yada, when you say, hey, I have 2 SC points, you want them to know the Beachbody, slang. No, they're not going to know, details, nitty-gritty details, but I just think it's so important to keep them at least to know enough to get by talking to somebody that they could get a referral to you. So, and that's actually how I found Molly. Was Matt knew that I sold the 21-day fix. So, I don't ask him to know every little bitty, detail, but I just want him to, be like, oh, that's a Beachbody program, or, oh, that's a Beachbody, trainer. So over the years, he's been, even more engaged. That we were at a success trip and he's like, oh, there's Michael Neiman. And I was like, so it's really cool to see how he's evolved too. And, knows more about the business as we go along. But, yeah, so letting them be happy for you, sorry, I'm reading this. The Molly worked with Matt, and so what did Molly say? She was like, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, and I'm going to buy the 21-day fix and Shakeology. And Matt was like, my wife sells that. You should talk to her. So I just messaged her, and the rest was history. So I knew she was going to be a coach because she made an entire binder for her 21-day fix. And I was like, oh, this girl, she needs to, she needs to be on my team. So, all right, set business hours and stick to them. These can vary week to week, as your schedule may vary, but have a roadmap. I have some people that have, shift schedules, or their husband has shift schedule or shift, where you go from afternoon to midnight one week. So, or if you're a server, this can vary week to week. So your schedule can, be, Sunday night, I'm going to go through and make my schedule, put his down. So then you can then block out family time, block out Beachbody time. And yes, it's going to take you, 10 minutes to do that, but it's going to be so, so helpful. So let's see. Sticking to scheduled business hours, turning off my phone has been a great thing for me. Pre-scheduling posts so I don't have to stare at my phone or be on my laptop every day. I don't have all Beachbody goals the way I used to. I don't have all Beachbody goals the way I used to. I'm not sure what she means by that. setting hours that you are out of the office. For me, I hold the hours of 3 to 8 or maybe even 9 pretty sacred, except for scheduled calls later in the evening. So that she, whatever time she wakes up, gets her workout in, then she's working, and then no phone from 3 to 9 o'clock unless there's, here and there, she's got a call scheduled. And you can do that. You can pick your hours. If you, make somebody wait 2 hours to respond to a message, they're not going to be like, oh, screw this person, I'm going to find another Beachbody coach. I promise they're not going to run away from you. I'm not sure, maybe it could happen, but they are not going to, I promise you. So, if that's what you need to do, I don't want you to feel guilty because, 6 to 8 is just a really great time because people are off work. That's what I used to say all the time. I can't do that. That's my prime time. I have to be there when people are on. No, you do not. You need to put your, relationships first. So I remember that I was at Smart Success and I asked Shalane Johnson, we got VIP tickets. So then we were we got a chance to have lunch with her 2 days. And I looked at her and I said, this was this past year when this was my main focus. And I said, 6 to 8 is, my husband works, 9 to 5, but 6 to 8 is my prime time for my business. So, what do I do? How do I find a happy medium? And she was like, why are you letting, dang it. How did she say it? Why are you letting the feelings of people you don't know, come before your husband? And that was just kind of like I don't know. And that kind of really made me realize, I can't just keep doing this. I have to do something different. So I can say that I enjoyed working Beachbody so much more last year than any other years because I set time frames so that I had to get more done. I couldn't just take a whole day to make a graphic or, scroll hours on Facebook. I knew I had a time frame and I knew that we had dinner. I needed to start dinner at 6 o'clock and, I couldn't do it after that. So that has been a huge, huge game changer for me. And you can even, if you're an Excel person, you can go in an Excel and you can time block, you can color code. If you have a iPhone, what is it, iCalendar or Google Calendar, whatever syncs to it. So you can have it in your phone and your computer. If you're just doing it in your planner, whatever, write out, if you're, have kids older that have, soccer practice, this or that, whatever, just put it all out there so that you can actually pencil in family time and you can actually pencil in your Beachbody Power Hour. Setting goals and sharing with our boys, their kids, the Success Club trips to Disney and Atlantis were huge for my boys. And we talk about, if I hit a goal, we as a family would do something. And for big goals, I put Post-it notes all over the house. And my boys check up on me where I am on them. So it's really cool too. And I know Mullen has said this before, that she puts her goals out and Jason will comment on it or write back on it. I think she had Success Club or Get Your Diamond or whatever. And he was like, yeah, babe. And I know Melissa does that. And Mark will write little comments on it too. It's just so cute to, even if, you're just putting it out there for you, it gives them a chance to see how important it is and kind of cheer you on as well. All right. And then I think this was the last one that I got tips from them. So everyone is busy. Be okay with being busy. Don't use the O word. You are not overwhelmed. Oh, by the way, this is from, I can't remember her name, but she is very tell it how it is. So that's her mindset. But yeah, don't use the O word. You are not overwhelmed. 3, schedule your work time and workout time. 4, do not answer calls, text messages if it's not your work time. Put your phone away. Train your challengers and coaches to use other resources, team page, FAQs, Google. This is a big one, especially in the beginning, and you have a new coach and they're asking you questions and you want to, I have to be there to respond to them. I have to be there to respond to them. So create something that's duplicatable. So as soon as you get another coach, create a team page so that you can have a place where, you have the most commonly asked questions and you can have it in there for them to have resource and they can ask other coaches on their team too. Obviously our team page, they can ask in there too. FAQs, Google, teach them how to use all that. To-do list, have a to-do list every day, each item just 5 to 10 minutes to complete. So, if you say, make new coach training as one of your items on your to-do list, that is not going to be a short task. So, if I need to make record welcome video for new coach training. That's one bullet. So, breaking it down is so much easier for you mentally to be like, I'm going to do that, because if I see make new coach training along with check email, I'm going to check my email, because that's going to take, 10 minutes versus, I don't know, days. So breaking it down and putting it in, just giving yourself like 3 must-do tasks for that day is super helpful. So, okay, I need to get my new coach training video made and uploaded. I need to check out my Google Doc links in the training that they all work. And then I need to share the link with my team, whatever. So focusing on things that are not going to take more than 10 minutes at a time on your to-do list also helps you to stay, organized. It helps you to stay focused. And so that when you do have time to work the business, you know what, hey, I'm going to tackle this. Sacrifice. Make sacrifices that align with your priorities: sleep, TV, shower, drying your hair, putting kids to bed 1 time a week. So, pick what, you have to give up, and, focus on your, Chillian Johnson always calls it your intrinsic priorities. What is most important to you? If you and this is where a lot of the things happened last year, where I had a lot of coaches getting frustrated because I really wanted elite. So they thought that they really have to push for elite. And then they were doing all these things that weren't fun for them anymore, and they were pushing for elite, and they, weren't enjoying it as much. So it kind of took all the fun out of it for them. So I need you to focus on what your goal is. And for me, I'm not focusing on elite. I'm not focusing on rank anymore for my coaches, for myself, not at all. And can I tell you how much less stress that is? I'm focused on hitting Success Club and keeping a baby alive. That's all I want to do. So I don't need this business to tell me how successful I am as a person. I don't need this, my rank in the company to tell me, that I'm a good person, a good mom. That doesn't define me. So, I just want you guys to focus on getting your Shakeology paid for every month. So if you Shakeology for us is $100. And now that All Access Challenge Pack is $99, or $199, you're getting $70 commission. So right there, you sell 2 of those, that overcovers your Shakeology every month. So just make it your goal to, hit, Success Club is just means that you're going to get your shakes paid for, and you're going to help at least 3 people a month. So but also, like I posted in the page the other day, people are, more or greater than points. So, I don't care if you hit SC4 at the end of the month and you didn't hit Success Club, but you did everything you could to, talk to people, and you have a ton of people in the works, but, they're probably going to pull the trigger next month. So, I don't want you to stress so much about the points, but your effort and the people that you're helping. So, let's see, delegate house stuff to people living there, team stuff to downline. So, anybody else in your house, if you are stressed because, the laundry is piling up and this and this and this, if you can just take 1 or 2 little things off your plate, and, saying, hey, do you mind, you do the garbage, you do, the dishwasher, I'll do the laundry in the bathrooms, whatever. I don't know. I don't know if those are fair trade-offs. I'm just pulling things out, but, making sure that, you let people know, hey, this would just mean so much to me if you could just do this, instead of you never clean the bathrooms and so you have to go around about it in a good way too, not just being I have too much stuff on my plate, you need to do this. So, but if you're open and honest with people, they're going to want to help you if they know that you need it. team stuff to your downline. So, have other coaches have them take a day in the challenge group. Don't feel like you have to post everything. Don't feel like you have to send all the prizes. For the longest time, I was the only one sending prizes, and I was just letting all my coaches invite their people. So I was, sending out a lot of prizes, and this was before, I was, really successful in the business, and I felt like I was, I wanted to be a leader and do this and do that, but I felt like I was, spending too much for, what I was making at the time on silly things like prizes, because I love giving gifts. But, I just had to realize, like, okay, I, need to have, my downline take a day where, that week they send the shake sample, or they send that. Whatever it is, like, even if it's just posting, you need to know that it's okay to not do it all. You need to release that I need to do it all feeling, and nobody else can do it as good as me. Like, that's true. But, you have to just let things go and focus on what you have to do. What things that you have to be doing is creating new relationships, starting new messages every day, doing your invites, following up with people, and then checking in on your challengers and coaches. What your assistant can do is graphics, sorry, I'm thinking assistant, assistant or people in your downline, graphics, daily posts like, hey, drop your meals below. They can help you go live in, your live events, whatever. There's so much stuff that other people would be happy to help with. You want to do a free group, have somebody else hop in and help you out with that, because it's a free group. You can't screw up a free group. Don't worry about it. And, just inviting people to take things off your plate is just so, so important. Laundry service, assistant, babysitter, cleaning lady, whatever aligns with your priorities. All right, so then during family time, homework, making and eating dinner, bedtime, date night, etc., put your damn phones in another room. Oh, Jody, that's her name. I was just thinking. But yeah, she's so true. Like, do not even have it in front of you. Like, you had all day, you had that time chunk when you were supposed to be working, and now this is supposed to be family time. So it's not fair to, not give them your sole attention, and not say like, oh, well, I'm with my family now. Put your phone away. Because if you have it with you and you see a notification, what do you want to do? You want to check it. So just put it away. All right. Number 9, there you go. She said, have sex with your husband or significant other, spouse, whatever. So I love this. She's so funny. I can literally just picture her saying this all. She wants to make sure that also they were talking about, a lot of times it's beachbody, yes, but there's also other things in your relationship that you need to fix too. So the great thing about, Beachbody is that they want you to do personal development, and personal development is not just good for your business. It is good for your relationships. It is good for so much, your self-esteem. And every time I come back from like a personal development seminar, I am like making dinner more, I'm cleaning more. I'm like, oh, I need to do this more. It just makes me want to be better. So personal development is also going to help you in, and you can find different personal development. It doesn't have to be like how to be the best network marketer in the world. It can be, personal development can also be considered, focusing on personal stuff as well. So always remember, Beachbody is not your problem. It is your solution. And I love this so much because, so many people are stressed about, oh, I don't have the time to do this. And, it's just so hard to respond to people or whatever, they're going to tell you. But it is your solution. It is your solution to feel better, to be happier, to be able to give the blessing of, helping others. I cannot tell you enough how much I love this company and how much I love being a coach. And it's changed my life. I had $7 in my bank account when I started. I, have now been able to, I've quit my job. Matt has quit his job, paid for our wedding in cash. Like, I just cannot even believe, like, I am here at home all day long with my daughter. I never, ever, 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 ever thought that would happen. So, and it's given me so many amazing friends. It's given me confidence. I love that, if I'm having a bad day, I will make a motivational quote because it's something I need. And somebody says, oh my gosh, that, it means so much to me. I needed to hear that. I'm like, that was just as much for me as it was for you. And I love that. It makes me, realize what I need, and I share that with others. So, but I don't say all that to say like, oh, you're going to quit your job in 6 months. No, Beachbody is a slow growing, organization. And that's why it's so great, is because it's here for the long haul. And the more you add to your team, the more you grow your team, you duplicate your success with your other coaches, your cycle bonus is going to grow. And, did anybody else notice that their cycle was higher this, or for any of the veteran coaches probably would see it more of a difference, but I saw Heather you cycled 9 times. That's the most you've ever cycled. That's awesome. So what happens at the end of February is there's only 28 days. So you kind of get 2 extra days of Shaco HD orders like crammed in there. So the last week of February is always an awesome paycheck. I love that. But yeah, so like I said, it's not something that is, hey, I'm going to make $5,000 my first month. That's just not realistic. But what I love about it is that you see these coaches that have been around with Beachbody, and they are so successful because their organization is growing and their residual income is growing. So there is a future for your family here, but you have to be here a year from now. This is not a quick fix. And that is why Beachbody is one of the top network marketing companies out there, is because it is, well, if it's a get rich quick thing, like a lot of times they get shut down for, other issues. So that's why you want to be a part of this thing that's showing as you grow your organization over time, it's going to grow. So, and the more that you recruit coaches and the more that you grow your team with people that become your lifers, the more your cycle is going to grow. My biggest suggestion is just pour into your challengers. And as a new coach, don't even focus about signing coaches. It's okay. Focus on your challengers. Then the next month, guess what? You can invite those challengers to be coaches. So honestly, like the best coaches were challengers first. And I think the statistic is 71% of diamond coach, 71% of diamond coaches started off as challengers. So, it's just awesome to have them go through, love the products, and then want to coach because of that. Not saying that has to be the case. I saw somebody, my coach posted on Instagram and I was like, sign me up. Like, and I had, I'd done a turbo jam, like, years and years before. So I'm not saying that you can't be a great coach, without being a challenger first, but it's just so much easier and so much less overwhelming, I think, when you do it that way. So, I literally was all over the place. I'm so sorry. My brain is like not working today. So anything that I wanted to ask Heather. Heather, are you still here? Heather's here. Okay. Actually, let me mute everybody. I realized I never did that. Okay. And then Heather, unmute yourself. So I want Heather to kind of talk about how she fits all of this into her busy schedule, because her and Rachel get up at the crack of dawn every day and power hour together. They're crazy. So I'm going to let her tell a little of her tips. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them all in the chat, and then we can all help you together.
First off, I want to say just kind of how this all started. Like in the beginning, and this is just recently that I have really started to focus in on how to balance my family life, my relationship with my husband, and work. It's been like craziness until just recently. And I'm so excited to share this because it's been a total game changer for us here. So yes, Rachel and I have been getting up. I get up at 4:20 every morning, and we get on our power hour call. And lately we've been really good about getting our power hour, and we've been chatting a lot lately. But we get up, we get our power hour in, and that just like sets the day. That you have like your vital behaviors done. So that's like, you're off your checklist. Then, you need to schedule in when your workout's going to be, if you're going to work out in the morning or if you're going to work in the afternoon. So yeah, I started gung ho with this, and I was I've never had goals ever before in my life until I started with Beachbody, and all of a sudden I had like all these goals, and I was like, bam, 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 bam. I got hit, and I was so on fire and so excited, which I still am. But the problem with that was that I did not give any thought to anything or anybody else but my coaching. So yes, I was successful with this, but I was also very unsuccessful at everything else I was doing. So I am a mom of two and married, and I also work about 30 hours a week at my kids' school. So everything that I was doing other than Beachbody was just totally put to the wayside. And it worked for a while, and then all of a sudden, my husband and I started having a lot of problems, and I didn't associate that with Beachbody at all. I was like, I don't know what his deal is, but he is cranky like all the time. And he kept saying like, it's Beachbody, it's Beachbody. And I'm like, it's not Beachbody. I'm doing great with this. This is fantastic. And but to him, I was a stay-at-home mom for 9 years, and I just recently went back to work at my kids' school. So he is used to me being around all the time. I always have everything done. I always have dinners cooked. I always have laundry done. I always have the kids taken care of. I'm always the one. I mean, like I said, for 9 years, I did everything. And I didn't have a problem with that at all. But all of a sudden, I no longer did a lot of stuff. Like laundry, just when I could fit a load in once a week or twice a week. And everything was getting stacked up. And, the house was not clean anymore. Like half the time I was like, oh, I didn't have time to make dinner. Can we just grab something? Or can you cook dinner tonight? And I never talked to him about anything. I never like tried to work this into our schedule. I just decided on my own, this is what I was going to do, and I was going to rock at it, and everything else he was just going to have to figure out. And I know it sounds awful, like, and I didn't even think it through until like things got really bad. And we actually went to see somebody professionally, and it wasn't like, she was like, look, Heather, I get it. Like, I understand network marketing. I know, I get it. So just think it through. And she like laid it all out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have completely put him and everything else on the back burner for this. And so we sat down and we talked, and I just said, obviously I apologized for not explaining it all to him and talking him through and having him on board. But so we just worked out a schedule, like a couple times a week, he's okay with making dinner, and I put my phone down, more, and I set certain times that I'm going to be doing this. And I turned off all my notifications, and just certain things that I had to do to step back a little bit and realize what's important. So that was, really, really big for us. And so we kind of came up with a schedule. And like I said, this is new, so we're kind of just now working with it. But we listened to Melanie Metro. I would highly recommend you guys listen to this. She's doing the Business Tip Tuesday. And she did like I think it was a 4-week, I don't forget what she called it. April, do you remember?
Spouse support.
Yeah. So she did like a 4-week, and we need to catch up on a couple of them, but it was so good, and I highly recommend you guys look it up on YouTube. But so we watched those together, and they came up with a schedule for the two of us. So I work, Sunday night through Thursday is kind of my work schedule. So that's after I get off of work, and I do obviously I take care of the kids and help with homework and all that. But in the evenings, then I go and I do a lot of my work stuff. So then on the weekends, when he and the kids are around, obviously, that's when it's like phone off. I don't answer all my messages right away. I even if like coach questions and stuff, like only as I absolutely have to. Everything kind of gets my focus is my family, and that's obviously needs to be the most important thing. So weekends are my family time. So I've let my coaches know that, and I know that they understand, and they've got families themselves. So that's been really, really big for us. And yeah, I can't stress enough how important it is to bring them in on, this is not your business. This is, your family's business. So I learned that the hard way, but I'm glad that I finally got it. And April was so good. From the beginning, she told me this, and I didn't put it into place. So like I said, it wasn't until things got really icky that I was like, whoa, I got to do something about this. So yeah, it's definitely important to be on the same page and to work out a schedule and to not be obsessive about it. Because it's not gonna, it's not gonna work in the long run if not everybody's on board. So yeah.
Right. I just like, and everybody's going to be different too. So you can't just look at one person's like what works for them and put it to your life. So you just have to, figure out what works for you and just know that the sooner you can do it, the better, because, I struggled with this for so long. And I remember Matt looked at me, we were going to watch a movie and he was like, if I'm going to say, he said something like, I'm not going to watch the movie if you don't put your phone down, because I'm not watching another movie by myself. And that was like, oh my gosh, like that was an aha moment. Like I have to get something, have to do something different. So, I just encourage you guys to really, really make it a point to know that you cannot just keep doing this. You cannot just keep fighting about it. You cannot just keep feeling guilty or making them feel not important. So I want you to make a plan and make a schedule for next week. And I want you to time block Beachbody, time block family time, and post it in our team page. And I would love to see that. I just think this is if any of the homework I've ever given you, this is the best thing that you can do for yourself and your business, because it's not busy work. It's not like, oh, I don't have time to do this. This is going to benefit you and your relationships so much. So yeah, any other questions? We good? Okay, well, I am so glad to see you guys, and thanks so much for hopping on. So next Thursday is not going to be a call. It's going to be a live What is a Challenge group that you can invite people to, or if you want to just, start one and do one with your downline, you can do that too. I'm not, going to be offended if you do yours on the same night or anything like that. I'm excited when you branch off and do that. So anything else? Free meal prep group starts Monday. So start inviting like crazy to that. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.